This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
And of course, we're not going to leave well enough alone. We're going to come back 1 week later, March 26th, the Texas Tornado Street Fight. As far as I can tell, this is the first time you've had a gimmick match like this. Is that right?
Probably.
What are you, I know this sounds silly in hindsight because we're fans who've seen, 100 Texas Tornado Street Fights at this point. But back in 84, did you have to ask somebody, hey, now what exactly does that mean? What are we doing differently?
Who was the opponent?
Jimmy Golden and Robert Fuller.
Pretty much, I think I talked to Jerry about it and I said, what's off limits? And he said, well, really nothing. I just wouldn't, do anything dangerous. Robert, he's like, I don't think he's going to like you hauling off, hitting him in the head with a steel chair. I said, no, what I kind of had in mind is them hitting us with every piece of movable furniture in the building. He said, yeah, you're thinking exactly right. Basically, they will probably just beat the ever-loving piss out of us for most of this thing. I would suggest we'll probably both be bleeding.
Yep.
And probably crawling around on our hands and knees looking for an escape and come as close to getting slaughtered as you possibly can, but still escaping with the belts so that I could come out next week and tell them what an ass whipping we gave those guys last week. And that was your heat. You came out and lied. There's a couple of different truths. There's their truth, there's our truth, and then there's the real truth. But we always told our truth. And our truth was we beat the piss out of everybody in the building to and from the ring. What you people didn't see is when we got around the corner up there, we beat up the popcorn vendor, the guy that was sweeping up, and 4 or 5 fans. And they would go crazy because they knew it was all horse shit.
I don't know how to ask this. Is this the first time you would have used a blade?
Yes. Other than my very first match when somebody cut me.
Okay. So,
but that's Albert Bill Boaz.
Right.
First time I ever used one. Yes.
Can you tell me who sort of is your mentor in that and coaches you up and sort of shows you the way? Because it's not like you just figure this out on your own. Somebody has to say, okay, Marty, here's what we do. Right.
Believe it or not, I think the guy that showed me was Boris Zukov, who didn't mind going coast to coast and bleeding to death. And he had, at that time, he was probably 310 pounds.
Right.
When he was his biggest, his head grew with him as he got bigger. His head got bigger. And man, he didn't mind gigging himself, and he would bleed. It would be some of the goriest shit that, it even made the boys sick. He bled so much.
Wow.
And I think he cut me my first one, and I looked at it and I went, wow, that sure is a whole lot of blade sticking out of that. I probably don't need that much. Oh, come on. You got to make sure you take care of it. Well, I went ahead and taped that thing up where there was a lot less blade showing. And I came up with a philosophy that stuck with me my entire life. Now you can look at my head. I mean, I'm not a handsome guy, but not too bad, right?
You know what's funny? I looked it up and you're exactly right. Boris Zukov was on this same show in a Russian chain match against Jacques Rougeau. So he was probably zipping himself.
Oh God. Yeah. He was. Here's what I came up with that I stuck with my entire career. They can tell you when and how often to cut yourself, but they can't tell you how deep. They don't have that authority. So for a guy that's been hit with everything and, you kind of look, it's not too bad. There's a few deep ones when I was probably learning, but yep, Boris, I think, would have been the man.
So do you remember where he suggested that I know that some of this stuff guys get a little uncomfortable with, but You break a razor in half, you wrap one of the ends in tape, and then you stick it where? On your wrist tape.
Wrist underneath. Yep.
Got you.
And that's all the magic we need to give them for today.
Sounds good to me. This match goes to a no contest. And then the next time we see you is April 2nd. And this time, again, we're talking about what we're building here. February 13th, Arn and Jerry beat Jimmy and Robert. February 27th, Arn and Jerry go to a draw with Jimmy and Ron. March 5th, Robert and Ron win a DQ match, or win by DQ over Arn and Jerry. And now we finally get the heels to get a win. Arn and Jerry beat the Fullers on March 19th. A week later, the Texas Tornado street fight, but it goes to a no contest.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.